Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to another episode of Not the Droids podcast. I'm Mayuri,
And I'm Danny.
and today we are continuing Clone Wars Season 2. We made a slight on the fly edit, so we'll be doing 5 episodes today, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Season 2, titled Senate Spy, Landing at Point Rain, Weapons Factory, Legacy of Terror, and Brain Invaders. When did these come out?
So these came out October 16th, 2009, November 4th, 2009, November 13th, November 20th, November, December 4th, 2009. So this is just a reminder because the last episode we were
Yeah, it
in
was like the future.
2010.
Yeah, I
And
was
it's
like, wait a second.
because we
It's
jumped
because we came
forward
back.
and now we
Because
jump
we came
back.
back.
I also want to take a moment because Ahsoka Tano Day is January 29th. And we just
Oh,
have to
it's coming
celebrate.
up.
It's coming up. Disney did their the group that works with Disney did their lightsaber meetup this past weekend. I did not get to go, but we are approaching Ahsoka Tano Day, which is the day in 2008 when Ahsoka Tano made her first appearance in the Star Wars series.
That's why it's a Ahsoka Day.
It's And it's a perfect group of episodes because
Seriously.
we have some good Ahsoka moments in this set. And the reason we added the fifth one, which was initially unplanned, is we realized that they were a continuation of the same story, so we did not want to stop in the middle of that story.
Yeah. So honestly, watching these in a row was like a great movie. I go back and forth with episode. I know I hated the last set, but this set of 5 was absolutely bomb. I
I
really liked
knew
it.
you would like episode 4 because we are straight in the love stories there. There's no
Also, they
longer
literally started it off with Anakin Skywalker and his wife, Senator Padme Amidala. And I was like, what?
like
They've
because
never
we had talked
referred to
about we're like,
her
oh,
that
we're starting
way.
to see little glimpses and
And
little
then we jumped all the way to his wife. I died. I literally died. I was like, I cannot believe this. But it was good. I do have one comment about the animation of Padme. And I don't know if you noticed, but like they literally are showing her like rib cage. And I was like,
yeah.
why did we need that? Why did we need that? We all know she's skinny. But like, what was that? That was the only thing that it kept like bringing me out because like obviously like she wears revealing clothing, but like I just that's something I don't agree with. But
And I'm curious to see how many females were on the design and
animation
artist
staff.
team because we're looking like at Ahsoka, who's a young girl showing her midriff, as and we're looking at Padme that has more of a. I'm just like curious on how much of this was the male gaze,
Well, I assume Padme's is because it's a riff off of all of her outfits from the movie. I get that. Um,
but still
Ah-
same thing there.
Ahsoka's is very interesting because I wonder what the difference is in certain episodes when she gets different outfits.
Mhm.
And every time she gets a different outfit, it is more and more covered up.
It
Like, we actually got her in armor one time, but we have never gotten her in armor since.
But I think it's like the purpose of the outfit. So like the one where she had like the full bodysuit was because she was going into space.
But I would assume the episode where she had armor would continue because Anakin and Obi-Wan are in
No,
armor.
no, she's just straight out there with lightsabers. Uh,
Seriously, I'm like
Part of
this
me is
kid
also like I think because her costume changes through the seasons, whereas not all the characters get that, is to show her age progression.
maybe.
That would be my guess because she is like, okay, these set of episodes we do end up with another Padawan, and but this is the only Padawan we're following, and she's the only one whose age is actually going to make a difference
Yeah.
in the long run because she is growing from a very young. because they already said that because of her age, she is advanced. So she's already doing things that Padawans her age were not.
Yeah, no, that I know. So I will say, like, this is the only thing, like, I get that they're showing her midriff, and that was fine.
Hmm.
Um, and I can't tell if it was just to like indicate because the side view of her, you could like see her rib cage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was like they couldn't figure out how to like do abs or something. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
It was just like every now and then would take me out. And I
Hmm.
also really hate that she just wears one outfit for the entire episode, like the beginning part, not the entire episode, but like from when she's with Anakin to like when she travels to this planet, like wouldn't she have changed
I am annoyed she
outfit?
fell for the poisoning.
Way to jump
I'm
ahead. But yeah,
sorry. But
it's
that's the thing that annoyed
so
me. I'm like, she's such a smart character. We've seen her use decoys and all this before, and now she's just out here accepting drinks.
and she got poisoned. But now, well, so like this whole episode, I feel like it was a nod to the struggle in their relationship because clearly we went from like little things here and there to all of a sudden it's just like they are married and we're gonna fade to black.
Anakin's jealousy is ramped to the top.
I was like, no, but like even from the beginning where she was like, what happened to the ship that you had? And he's like, it got destroyed. And like with no consideration to how she might feel about him being in danger like that. Because to him, like, that's just his job.
But also,
Like,
he's
she should be
destroying
used to it.
ships like every other day.
I know, seriously.
I would love to
Um,
see his debt.
like, at some point, isn't it like we can't keep giving you ships, bro?
Yeah.
Um, but
You
yeah,
are the
so
reason that it wasn't the fights that took out the rebellion. It was
it
Anakin's
was Anakin
expenditure.
crashing every ship that he's ever flown. I do like that the Jedi Council acknowledges the connection between Anakin and Padme, where they
Yes.
were like, we couldn't convince her, so send Anakin to ask her.
Yep.
And ironically, I don't think Anakin intended to use reverse psychology on her.
No.
Like, truly, I truly think he didn't want her to do
No,
it,
he did not want her to do it. That there was no
but that's what
resolution.
ended up happening. It
He
was
wanted
reverse
to go back
psychology.
to Yoda and Mace Windu and be like, she said no.
Well,
But
my friend, my favorite is like they kept alluding to like, oh, she and this person used to be close.
yeah,
And then she was like,
it took
yes,
him
we
a
were
minute.
close. And I was like, bro, it took you too long.
Come on, my
And then
guy.
and then I was like, oh, they're pipping her out as a spy. I thought that was hilarious. And the fight that they were fighting so hard, I actually wrote in here, I was like, they're having a domestic. Like they are fighting.
Yes.
Um, but he's so hypocritical in that like he's so worried for her and he doesn't want to send her off and she's like you do this every day, like I have to deal with it, you have to deal with it, like if I can help. um
And like, I understand where he's coming from, but also she's done this a lot. Like, this isn't
I
bro, she's
know,
been out here longer than you.
seriously, like haven't you
How did you guys
been in
meet?
situations with her where she has been able to get herself out and you have
How many
been
times has she
fine?
saved herself and she was like, peace, bro?
I know. We were like, bye. It's funny because this was very much a political episode, but I liked it. It was a lot more interesting. And it wasn't the spying stuff, but it was just like the
It was like
introduction of the new
it
character.
was also like very relational, like out of the connections of everyone. And I think that's really, I think we're gonna start seeing more of that side of the story. But we're
Yeah.
also
So,
starting to see Anakin's anger flare a little more.
oh, like way more intensely.
And that not even in just this episode, but we see like more intense emotions coming in future episodes that I think are like the start of us seeing him start verging.
Oh, we get the verge in this set of episodes.
So
So I'll say like even him being like sucks to be you, like I'm sure you'll get off this planet somehow. You seem resourceful. That was hilarious. He was like, "Give me back the data chip." And he was like, "No,
nope,
bro. I
not.
I have both the antidote, the data chip, Padme, the ship.
I
Like
got it all.
I got it all."
Got
The
yourself into this mess.
assumption is that he died or was kit captured. I can't tell. Not Anakin, but the
I
guy. The
Clovis.
guy Clovis from the banking
I
clan.
honestly like it ended and I just blanked on anything about him because I'm like, I don't think we'll see him
Well,
again.
I was just like, I wonder if we'll see him again, right?
Yeah.
Because like, um, this whole thing with the droid factory, it's also like really interesting, and I think it's because like I never considered how they were making all the droids, and that like one of the tactics of the Republic should be to destroy the factories making the droids,
Hmm.
right? So it was very interesting to jump from this episode to the next one um when it was them doing like a full-on assault on the planet where the droid factory
The
was built.
factory. So this one, I did get the header for this one, which was "Believe in yourself or no one else will."
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And it straight up starts off with Ahsoka and Anakin pulling a Gimli and Legolas.
I thought it was hilarious. I could
They're
not stop thinking of it,
keeping
and I
score.
um it's just like it is hilarious, and then you could tell that Obi-Wan doesn't like it
No.
because it's not in like keeping with the tenets of the Jedi. I
Well, it's
think it's
gamifying war.
yeah.
Like,
Um, but I will say, like, watching all the generals, all the Jedi trying to decide on a strategy, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin getting into it over like who is better, and Luminara being like, "Are you guys like done?
you done?
Because we have, war to do."
We have things that need to get done. We have a factory we have to deal with.
Um, it's always interesting to see, right? Because like I feel like Anakin brings that out of people.
I think so.
And
And
Obi-Wan, who's such a respected Jedi, getting into like a pissing match
yeah.
with Anakin in a very crucial time
But also
is
shows
just,
it's in one of these later episodes, but Obi-Wan like makes a note that's just like your Padawan's a lot more like you than you realize. Like you're rubbing off
yeah,
on her.
in not a good way.
No, no, it's not.
I do like that Obi-Wan referenced the last time he was on this planet, he was like chained to a pole, because that was in the movie. And
Yeah.
it was just like, how did we lose this planet? Like,
You're like,
I think that's what made it more interesting to me, because it had such an obvious tie to the movie.
yeah.
And also it was very action packed at every point. Um I was like, what else? Oh, I wrote um that they jinxed themselves, the clone, when he was just like, oh yes, good thing that bugs can't aim properly, and then they got destroyed. I was like, they got
You
absolutely
pulled a battlefield
wiped.
move. Like,
Seriously. And I was just like, I literally wrote a note. I was like, oh no, the Republic's losing. Who would have thought? And it was just like they all got shot down. The Republic like very much just relies on the Jedi to
yeah.
pull a miracle to have things happen, right? Like it is wild how many clones got shot down in trying to land, and then like Anakin and Ahsoka are arguing the whole time. They're arguing and then counting how many droids they've knocked out. So I don't know. It was fun to watch
Hmm.
them all work together. This was the first time I think I've ever seen Obi-Wan actually look like tired from fighting, like where
Yeah.
he was injured.
Where he's feeling
And
it. Yeah.
yeah. But I like the addition of the other Jedi, like kind of in the mix.
Yes. Um, so episode six's little subtitle is "No gift is more precious than trust." And coming up right off of this episode, Ahsoka and Anakin are still at it right from the top.
Seriously.
And like
I actually literally wrote, I was like, why is Anakin being a douche?
I was just like, I know I'm on
I'm on
Ahsoka's side a
Ahsoka's
lot,
side.
but in this moment I was like, dude,
He was
she
talking
is
over
right.
her.
Right now, she is right and is not stepping on toes as being the Padawan. Like, no, you are the one in the
You
wrong.
you're the one, and also like he is belittling all of the work that she's doing.
Mhm.
And so it's just like I can understand why she's so pissed. Um and he's being so weird about it. And I was just like, he's so invested in her, but like sometimes I think he doesn't realize that he is infantilizing her still.
Well, and he wants control of like the things. Like it's almost like he doesn't want her to be right because he wants to. But it bothers me because like he wants to be the one like correcting her, but he doesn't actually teach her. But when she is doing right, he doesn't want to like.
Let her get the credit. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like a really weird situation at the top of the episode. And honestly, it didn't really serve the rest of the episode for that tension.
I think the purpose of that moment was more so that when we have is it Luminara and who's
Oh,
the
so
other
you,
one?
s-
I
uh,
think because she makes the comment, and I think it's to see the dichotomy between
Barris.
Ferris and Ahsoka and the relationships with their masters because it's showing us what because we really have not seen a traditional Padawan master relationship even in with Anakin
Obi-Wan and
and even a little with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, but we don't see a lot of that in the
yeah,
previous stuff. I think this is showing they're like this isn't the normal way of teaching.
no,
Um
it's not.
and I think that's what the purpose of this meeting was to bring them in and be like, oh, they have a very different relationship than others.
Yeah, even like how they introduce each other,
Yeah.
right? So, I really love Luminara as a Jedi, by the way,
I also
from the
really love
beginning.
Ferris as a Padawan.
Barris with
Barris.
a B.
Barris, yes. Barris.
Um,
And
no,
I
I
like the
like
conversations that her and Ahsoka have.
I think it's really important to like the mindset of Ahsoka, right? Because she's
Yes.
seeing how like another learner is. I don't she doesn't really have access to other learners, right? So
Yes.
I do think that Barris is a little too like
Yes.
straight and narrow.
Structured. Yes. But I think that was like the point of seeing this is that like as they are going to place the implements, Barris is very much like this is the shortest way no matter what. And Ahsoka's like, we should find a different route.
Oh my God, when they went past all the sleeping bugs, I was like, this, what?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go another way? But she memorized only one route.
Only one route. Yeah. And I think that is like almost the point of seeing them interacting each other is seeing how in one set she's very focused, very this is the way.
Well, I just wrote that she doesn't have any critical thinking skills,
No.
like no on the fly. So like I
And
feel like
I'm
she's
go on.
I was gonna say, I feel like she's a Padawan at war, but she is not making the on the spot decisions
I don't know that she also has been out in the field as much as
as much as
Ahsoka. And
Ahsoka.
I think Ahsoka ends up out in the field because of Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah, it's just the nature of her Jedi. But I mean they eventually get attacked and it's Ahsoka that saves them, right? Like her thinking like let's do this. Hopefully, it was super dramatic and I was like there was nothing that was going to happen to them because like the whole thing with
No.
the battle droids, we're like, we are impervious to everything.
Yeah.
We'll be safe here. Um,
It's the fact that Barris was like, if this is my end, this is my end. And Ahsoka's like, dude, we're gonna make this
yeah, like
signal
we're gonna
work.
make it work.
Like we don't give
Um,
up like this. Like I will try until I'm not trying anymore. And
well,
even then you see the other conversation of Luminara
with
and Anakin having the same conversation in a different
Just the
way.
other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did make a note that Luminara's like, I sense them drifting away. And I'm like, can't you sense where they are? Are you joking?
You're waiting for the little timer to go off. Like in the books, people are literally like, I sense people that way. That's
That
where they must
way.
go.
I thought that's how it worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you can sense them drifting away, but not what direction they're in or
And
anything
then they
like
finally use
that.
the force. And it's like, you guys, there's two of you, which means you can link up and have a more powerful reading.
Well, I was just like, well, Luminara can sense them, but Anakin cannot. Is he just like too deep in his feels in the moment that he cannot control his access to the Force? And that's where I'm like, think that we're headed. That like,
And part of that is also, I'm wondering if Luminara is more aware and connected to her Padawan in that way.
oh, then Anakin is.
Because we know Ahsoka is connected to Anakin because we had that episode where she's like, he's still out there.
Yeah, I can
But
feel
we have
him.
never actually seen the reverse of Anakin being able to be like, no, she's fine.
Ahsoka is fine,
When he talks about her being fine, he goes off of instinct. He's like, I know her. She's gonna be fine.
but it's never
Not
like
not I
from the
sense
Force.
her. I know she's
Yeah,
okay. And I'm wondering if that's part of it.
yeah. I wonder.
And that Luminar is more aware of the connection to the Padawan, whereas Anakin's on that other side of he's doing the job he was
But
given.
I wonder if that's a function of the relationship that is normal between
Yeah.
Padawan, learner, and their master,
Yeah, I'm curious.
right? That like Anakin kind of gives Ahsoka too much freedom.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
not enough training. Because what we like, she has a lot of freedom, but we also see she has a head on her shoulders. Like the clones don't question her. Like that whole
No.
moment in the beginning, the clones were already like on her side. They're like, "No, we got you." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Anakin, you can leave." Like,
Like bye. Let's not crash anything. I will say pieces of different Jedi now. So like in the next episode, the two learners left to
mhm.
go to med bay, right? And recuperate.
Yes.
And then it was the creepiest episode we have seen on this show yet.
Okay. The headline for seven is sometimes accepting help is harder than offering it. And
I don't
then,
understand how that relates to this episode, to be honest. Okay. Like I said, I like Luminara as time goes on, and maybe it's because that she kept going even though she didn't want to wait and
mhm,
obviously got herself in a very bad situation.
yes.
Didn't think we would see, zombie apocalypse on Star Wars, but the fact that they were bugs, at first I thought they were gargoyles, right? Like I was just like, oh, okay. Like the sculptures might be gargoyles that come to life. Maybe that's what happened. I did not expect zombies.
Yep, we're going zombies.
It was awesome. It was a really cool storyline. I liked that it followed through the next episode. It was creepy. It was so creepy.
That, are we already on to the next episode?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, I have some comments about the next episode.
I know the next episode was wild. But I will say this episode highlighted the difference between Obi-Wan's style and Anakin's style, and
Yes.
Anakin's complete disregard for the clones. Like, the clones died brutally, by the way, and they
Hmm.
were just like, oh, I should go up to the surface. It was weird to see Anakin be the safe one in this episode. Be
Yeah.
like, we need more backup. And Obi-Wan's like, we don't have time for that. We cannot split up again. This is what happened when we split up. I was like, this whole thing with the queen, it was interesting. And it also explained why they lost control of the planet, I
Hmm.
guess. But it was a huge setup for the next episode, in my opinion. But
Going to mention.
I will say my favorite thing in this entire episode is the interaction between Luminara, Obi-Wan, and Anakin when Luminara was about to be infected with one of the brain worms. And Obi-Wan was like, I want to see how it works. And Luminara was like, I don't want to see that.
But we have this moment where Anakin steps on a brainworm,
Oh
and
yeah.
Obi-Wan, we could have studied it, which could have possibly prevented the next episode. I'm just
But
saying.
at the same time, Obi-Wan almost infected himself.
Yeah, that's a bit too much.
Like that's in
But
that in
studying
that moment,
would have been worth some of this.
but at the same time, like they didn't know anything about it. Great. Um,
Did you ever read, listen, watch the Animorphs series?
of course I did.
You can't say that to me because I've
Okay,
had a lot of
fine.
preferences. That's what went to my brain. I'm like, these are yerks. They just go in through your nose.
So I watched Stargate. So I was like, oh, these are Goa'uld. And they go in through your nose instead of your mouth. It's the same thing. It's a parasite that takes control of your brain. And it was interesting how interested Obi-Wan was in learning how it worked.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, whoa, bro. Whoa. That was creepy. But that conversation that they had was hilarious.
Yes.
The fact that they kept Poggle with them the whole time, he was like fighting to escape, and then at the end he was just like, oh, this is just my fate. Like they're gonna kill my queen, and I'll just go with them. I'll be captured, but they're Jedi, so nothing bad will happen to me. So, which is the next episode was
Subtitle:
interesting.
Attachment is not compassion.
That makes sense with the episode. So I will say my one big thought about the brainworms is if the queen is dead, who is controlling them all? Are
The
they
hive mind.
sentient? Like what mind are they hiving?
Yeah.
Like
Is there a backup somewhere? Was there a princess somewhere?
that's why I was just like, what is their goal? Is it their
The
goal?
the horror movie movements of the clone right off the top.
Oh
I'm like,
my
oh, I'm not okay
god.
with this.
I
So
don't
like
like horror.
I don't either. And then his eyes rolled back and he did the weird back. I'm like, no, no, ma'am.
I was just like, I will say the conversation between Ahsoka and Varys while they were eating, while
Yeah.
all the other clones were getting infected, while they were eating was very interesting because Ahsoka says that, what are we supposed to do after? Are we keepers of the peace or are we warriors? And I was just like, or are those the same thing?
But
Right?
I think that was the conversation. There's also because there was that moment of enjoying the peace while it lasts. And I think it's how they approach it because Barris approaches it as a keeper of the peace,
And
which doesn't
Ahsoka
necessarily mean warrior, whereas Ahsoka approaches it
as a
as
warrior.
and it reflects who their master is.
Yeah.
Like
And
as a
so
keeper of the peace, her goal is always with peace in
and
mind.
she mentions that Anakin has an interesting take on it.
Yes. And that he might have not survived, that he may not, she doesn't know what he would do in a time of peace.
Yeah.
And that's very telling.
So that's why I was just like, it's a very interesting. I really love that they had that conversation in this episode because it speaks also to Anakin's mindset and his descent, right? Like this
Mhm.
episode, I feel like was very, very key
Yes.
in like explaining Anakin's descent into Darth Vader. Um so they ended up killing a clone, which she was like, he was my friend. He wouldn't have hurt me, but she has no feelings over the fact that he just died. I
But
was
at
like,
this
could you?
but at this point, it is the honestly, it is the norm for her, is that losing friends that are clones.
You're just less emotionally invested in them.
I think so. And I think it's
So,
just
so
like the nature
crazy.
of um so they're
Yeah.
on this supply run. So Anakin and Obi-Wan, and
Aren't
like
with them.
Anakin knows something is up, but Obi-Wan's like, oh,
Yeah. Well,
she's
because,
just like you. She probably forgot.
but I think Anakin has very much drilled into Ahsoka that just because, like, you and I don't check in with, like, command doesn't mean we don't check
Check in with
in
each other.
with each other. And so I do like love that like Anakin, again, it's not because he senses something is wrong. It is because he
That their
knows
norm is, I don't care if you don't check in with him, but you check in with me.
you check in with me. And so that's where I was just like watching him go to Poggle and originally try the Jedi mind trick, right? And they're like, no one can get past that. Like, we don't have that issue,
Yeah.
as the others found out, and he very much tortured that man. But he did the Darth Vader thing, and I thought of you because you're always telling me to pay attention to the music. And they played the Darth Vader theme while he was doing it. The little choky thing, because that's his signature
Yeah.
thing, right?
Force
Like,
choke.
I was like, oh, it's Darth Vader. But that's why. And I do love that he goes to the thing and he's like, I know how to kill it. I know how to defeat the little brain worms. And everyone's like, how do you know that?
He's like, don't worry about it.
He's like, don't think about it. Don't check on the prisoner. Just I will say, forcing that girl to make it so cold when she's only wearing scraps of clothing is absolutely cruel.
It is, but also she knew it was going to be cold. She could have found a cloak. There's Jedi
Listen,
cloaks everywhere.
I mean, you're
Uh,
not wrong.
this also like threw me to like so much science fiction of how many times have we found a creature that
And
is the cold.
freezing it is the way to defeat it.
Like in Star Trek,
So
the Gorn are
much.
defeated by cold. Like,
Yeah, so many things. So
um,
many things are defeated by cold. But I mean, it was funny when she was like, I don't think we should separate. And Barris was the one was like, we have no choice.
yeah,
And she was not wrong. They didn't need to separate. In my opinion, they didn't need to separate. It would have been much more beneficial if they stayed together, got the information from Anakin.
power in numbers.
Yes.
Because then you can
And
be
I
watching each other's back.
also, when you separate like that, like, it's a horror movie. It's a horror movie. You separate like that, and you're just like, no, no, one of them's gonna get infected,
And you
and
should
they're
have
gonna
had a
have to
code
fight
word
each
somewhere.
other. Seriously,
When you have
the
brain worms, you need a code word so you don't get fooled.
seriously. But I mean, it all happened well in the end, and she could not like she killed the snake instead of Barris, which was always the right
Yes.
that was always the right decision in my book because I was like, hey, like you're already defeating the snakes. Like, it's going to get cold enough that they'll come out.
Yeah.
So, like, why waste a Padawan? Like, you like her and she's good. But this is where it's like that whole Jedi mindset where it's like, if it's their time, it's their time. Like,
But then she
whereas,
has this, we have that conversation with Anakin at the end of Barriss asking Ahsoka to just offer
yeah,
for the essentially the greater good. Like, whew. And this also is like because we know I know where Ahsoka's journey goes. You may
yeah, I
know.
have no idea. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
I didn't watch that show yet.
I'm aware. But this is also telling of like helping to form Ahsoka's ideologies
Core ideology.
of what the Jedi believe, what Anakin believes, and what she's going to believe.
Yeah. Well, because like I know the whole thing, right? Like she becomes not a Jedi. Like
Yeah,
she
her big
removes
thing is
herself.
I'm no Jedi.
Yeah, her big
No,
thing.
I
And
have.
so this is where I start to get curious if that ideology is part of it because of what how Anakin taught her. She
Mhm.
was not like subservient to the Jedi teachings and
But then
thinkings,
also
right?
she's where she doesn't agree with Anakin, so she's not a Sith either.
Yeah. But like Anakin went to that extreme to find this information about Ahsoka, but Ahsoka would not have done that,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And so, and that's the big difference is like they do have a different moral compass because Anakin will do anything, whereas like he loses all moral compass.
Yeah.
And so that's, and we kind of see it, right? Like he'd be willing to give up anything, destroy anything, like that sort of thing. So, like I said, as a whole, like these episodes were great.
Yes, I like this set.
They really, 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 truly lend themselves to understanding the characters from the movies more. So,
All right, so next we are headed into.
yeah, I think there's like three standalones, to be honest.
Okay, so we are doing episodes 9, 10, and 11, which is Grievous Intrigue, The Deserter, and Lightsaber Lost.
Yeah, that's why I mean, I was like, I think they're loosely connected, like, but not a series like these ones
Yeah.
were.
Because, like,
Um,
honestly, it feels like sometimes that the Clone Wars is mini movies with
I kind
some.
of like that. Like, I actually like this idea that like these episodes are in chunks so that they're mini movies.
Yes.
And so you're getting a full storyline from start to finish. And I feel like these little one-offs in between are to really like help us understand what else is going on in the galaxy outside of the war. Because
Yes.
like Obi-Wan says, like these battles are happening more and more. They sustained great, great losses to win this planet back from the separatists. And it's just like you can tell, like, okay, they might be winning this battle, but they are not going to win overall.
Okay, so Grievous Intrigue and The Deserter may actually be a combo. They released the same day.
Okay.
So I'm not going to
Um,
quote that because I'm not going to look, I don't want to look at the plot because I want to watch it.
yeah.
But the date that it was released, they were both released on January 1st, 2010. So I'm
Okay,
curious
so
if
maybe they're
they're
just
getting more.
together.
Yeah. And we've seen some where we're like, that was weird that they put those two together, but we'll see. Until next time, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But where the droids are gonna get